Consumer grade ceramic coatings versus professional grade ceramic coatings. Is there a difference? Are they the exact same formula, just repackaged and labeled differently and just sold at a more expensive price? You're going to find out all that and more in this video. So I think the answer, first of all, is not as easy or simple as we might think. So we have to split this up into two different sections. First of all, the liquids themselves, the chemistry and the formulas in the bottles. Are they identical or are there some differences? And then the second part is, do we agree with the business model or the marketing model of pro type coatings? So this is going to benefit, first of all, professional detailers out there who are probably applying some consumer grade coatings now. They're satisfied with that, but they're looking into potentially going into a certification type process to be applicators or certified installers of a specific brand of coating. So what are the pros? What are the cons of that? I disagree with that style, and I'll let you know why, but I think I'll also tell you which brands are doing it better than others if you want to go the certified route. And also for the consumer out there, well, first of all, you're going to find out if there are actually differences within the same brand. If they're selling a consumer type product versus a professional type product, are you getting more for your money if you're actually spending your money with a professional certified detailer to get that done? And it's going to give you a better insight as well as to what the differences are, if there are any differences, obviously. And we're going to cover topics like exclusivity, like territories for the certified processes. Is that good? Is that bad? Warranties as well. Do they make any sense? There are some that are doing it better than others and all that kind of stuff. So it's a jam-packed video, and let's dive right into it. Quick disclaimer, by the way, I am not a certified installer of any coating out there, so I have no bias towards a specific brand. I do not care which products you guys prefer or want to apply. That's up to each and every one of you to find something you want to use if you're a consumer and you want to apply something, or if you're a professional out there, find what works best for you in your conditions, your environment, for your customers, so on and so forth. So I personally like to be free to use whatever products I want on my customer vehicles, and that's why you see in videos you use different types of products from different brands, whether it's coatings, interior dressings, leather, wheel cleaners, tire dressings, whatever it is. I just like to be free. But are there some advantages to locking yourself in to become a certified installer? I want to also say that in this time and age, or in this time of day, we are so blessed with amazing products from many different quality brands. Now, we are not going to discuss about the horrible brands out there, because there are some that just don't do good products. Are there some consumer grade coatings that are better than professional grade coatings? Absolutely. If we're looking at brand to brand differences, there are just some brands that have better products than others. That comes down to what you prefer, what works best for you in your testing, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're not here to discuss. What we're here to discuss is if we have a same brand, because there are some brands that produce consumer grade versions and also professional grade versions. We're going to go over, by the way, what that is. What is considered a consumer grade coating and what is considered a professional grade coating. So I had the chance to be able to talk to a lot of the owners, the chemists, the CEOs, however you want to put it, of pretty much all the major brands that are out there. So I get different insights, which I can in turn share with you guys. So let's have a look, first of all, at different types of coating companies out there. I'm going to talk about what I believe to be some of the best coating brands out there, or the top tier, the traditional ones, right? CarPro, G-Technic, Geon. We have Armor Detail Supply, a newcomer, but a very good one. So good so far. They're doing some very, very good things. And brands that have been around for a while, like Optimum Polymer Technologies, or their OptiCoat Pro versions. Dr. David Gadusi, the owner and chemist, was one of the first ones to help create the modern clear coat, so he knows a lot about coatings. So they had a lot of interesting things to say over the years that I've spoken to them. So the first one here, you guys know I really like CarPro as a brand in general. So if we can focus in here. So Seaquartz UK 3.0. This is their consumer grade coating, right? And they also have two professional grade coatings. They have a bit more now since the diamond infused, nano diamond infusion, D-Quartz and D-Quartz Go were released, but we're not going to talk about that in this video. So this is their Seaquartz Professional. So this is their mid-tier, but still pro brand. And they also have their Seaquartz Finest Reserve, which is their flagship coating. So if we want to demystify, first of all, within the same brand, is there differences between the formulas, or are they the exact same thing, just with a different label and different price? Well, rest assured, all the brands I'm talking about today, and we're going to go over the features, there are differences in the formulas. There is no doubt about that. So if we look at Seaquartz UK 3.0, the claims are 18 to 24 months of durability. This is SiO2 based, 70% of SiO2 content, thickness of 1 to 2 microns, and we're looking at pH resistance of anywhere from pH 3 all the way up to pH 14. Not all brands make all the details available for their pro level coatings, which was a bit hard to find if you try to dig into the information. But there's going to be brands I'm going to talk about like Armor Detail Supply, which make everything very easily accessible for you guys to find out, including SDS sheets and all that kind of stuff. But basically whatever is in their main chemistry, other than the industry secrets, obviously. But there are differences. So if we look at the professional Seaquartz here, in this case, what you're looking at is increased resistance to salt and chemicals and better water spot resistance. And also you're looking at 2+ years of durability. So you're going to see a common trait between consumer grade and professional grade. It's not just the price, but it's also a bit on performance. So what I noticed when I look at these products is the main differences. Of course, well, the price is always more expensive for the professional grade, but you're going to get a bit more durability in terms of months or in terms of years. You're going to get better hydrophobic properties, so better water behavior. That can be tighter water beads, it can be quicker water sheeting, it can be different water sliding angles, it can be lower water contact angles, a bunch of different stuff. Longer durability, as we said. There is going to be better self-cleaning properties as well. That doesn't mean that the car cleans itself, right? We've said that self-cleaning, what that means, it makes the car a lot easier to wash during your maintenance washes, because the dirt, the grime, the bugs, all that kind of stuff has less of a tendency to want to stick to the paint, so it makes everything a lot easier to clean off. And a lot of them also have the Pro versions, a higher percentage of solids and in turn an increase in film thickness, or how thick the film builds on the surface of the resin and coating that you're applying on the surface. So there are differences in the chemistry of the formulas, absolutely. So this is one of them. If we look at their flagship, their Seaquartz Finest Reserve, that's the one that's the flagship over at CarPro. You're looking at SiO2 infused epoxy nanoparticles, so different type of chemistry compared to their consumer grade Seaquartz UK 3.0. With the Finest Reserve, you get extreme hydrophobics, very low water sliding angles, and also 3+ years of durability. Some sites say 3 to 5 years for that. Again, the durability depends on many different factors. It's not what we're discussing today. You're going to get a bit quicker sheeting and better self-cleaning properties. Now, I have to give credit where credit is due. Sandro from Carcraft Auto Detailing in Australia did a very, very good video about 5 or 6 years ago at this point, but he was comparing the CarPro Seaquartz UK, CarPro Seaquartz Professional, and the Seaquartz Finest Reserve. Of course, those are the older formulas that were available back in the time, but he did conclude by he did see some differences. Don't get me wrong, they were all very, very close in performance, right? And the more we advance in time, the better the consumer grade coatings are getting. But there were differences with the Seaquartz Finest Reserve. So in terms of overall durability, but mainly the quicker sheeting that he noticed with the Finest Seaquartz Reserve, and also the better self-cleaning properties that you also get if you have that type. So those are parts of the major differences. Gloss and slickness on consumer versus pro is a bit closer nowadays. Maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I would have said that it could have been a bigger difference, but the gloss units that you're going to get an increase on average with ceramic coatings, although you do get a boost of the candy-like appearance, that doesn't always translate into gloss units with a gloss meter. The biggest increase in gloss, if you want that, is always through paint correction. Leveling your paint, removing the defects, the oxidation, increasing the clarity, and basically making the paint truer and flatter gives a better light reflection, and that's how you get the biggest increase in measurable gloss units. So just keep that in mind. That's how you get the best gloss increase. I always tell that to people, and I think most professionals will agree. How do you get the most gloss is by paint correction, machine polishing. So what you're adding on top, whether it's a wax, a sealant, or ceramic coating, it can boost the visual appearance, but not as much as paint correction. So let's get that out of the way. So these are the main differences when you're getting a professional version versus a consumer grade. Sometimes the professional version is a bit harder to apply compared to the consumer grade, but again, that bridge is being gapped a lot nowadays because even professional grade coatings are becoming either one-layer systems or very easy to apply. Consumer grade coatings are increasing their properties. So better water behavior, better durability, better resistance to chemicals. So we're bridging that gap ever so slightly year after year, right? So we can make the argument that even if you're a professional, you can use consumer grade coatings and you're still going to get absolutely amazing results. The desire to get pro grade is not as important as it was 5 or 10 years ago when there was clearly a bigger marked difference. So you are paying a premium for pro grade, but you are getting a slight increase in performance, at least with the reputable brands. There are brands that are horrible out there. We're not talking brand to brand difference here again, right? Because there are, again, some consumer grade coatings that are probably better than some professional grade coatings from other brands. Absolutely. And just as much as there's pro grade coatings sometimes or within the same brand that are better than their consumer grade counterparts. Let's talk about some other brands that have consumer and pro grade in their lineup. So again, I had a discussion with Avi over at CarPro many years ago when these products were released, and it was clear that the formulas were different. Had conversations with Rob Earl, so the managing director over at, or CEO, should we say, over at G-Technic. So we know that G-Technic have their Crystal Serum Light. That's a 3 to 5 year durability coating for consumers, and they have their Crystal Serum Ultra, or CSU, that has a 7-year warranty claim on that one. Is that correct? Sorry, 9-year warranty claim. So you're going to notice the difference in terms, right? Consumer grade now, they're talking about years of durability, and on the pro side, we're hearing all of a sudden a warranty, up to 9 years of warranty. We're going to talk about warranties later on. And so there's no doubt that the Crystal Serum Ultra, the professional one, has much better durability, has much better chemical resistance. And again, if you're a professional detailer out there, if you're certified for one of these brands and you've obviously tested both the consumer and the pro, drop your comments, drop your thoughts and impressions on the differences between both. I'm sure you guys have noticed the differences within the same brand, consumer versus pro grade. Is it a small difference? Is it a big difference? What do you guys think? Is it worth the premium that you're paying for the more professional type coating? You can always drop a comment in the comment section. As long as everybody stays respectful, it's important to share our opinions, but we're not here to troll, we're not here to bash, we're not here to belittle, we're just here to share our thoughts and opinions. At the end of the day, guys, there's only 1% of the population or less that cares about detailing. So me and you guys, the viewers, we absolutely love detailing. It's our passion. But if you go outside, you're probably the only one on your street that even washes or details their cars. Everybody else thinks we're crazy. So they don't even understand these things. They probably, the majority of the 99% of the rest of the population that doesn't watch these videos, they don't care about detailing. They don't care about these issues. So know that we're always talking about very, very minute issues compared to the rest of the world, right? But still, it's our passion, so it's cool that we get to talk about this. If we move on to Optimum Polymer Technologies, they have their gloss coat, so that's their consumer grade, lasts 2+ years according to their claims. And then they have their OptiCoat Pro Plus. That's a professional coating that I had on my previous BMW M550i that did extremely well. I was very happy with that one. So clearly there is a difference in the formulas there too. The gloss coat, when I typically applied that, I, in my conditions, got anywhere from 18 to 24 months. Some people got a little over 2 years, again, depending on conditions, maintenance, all that kind of stuff, mileage, so on and so forth. I've covered that extensively in other videos. But the OptiCoat Pro Plus, I only keep my cars 3 years, but through those 3 years, it was still going fantastically well, no issues. And there was clearly a difference in the formula as well, because the gloss coat is a kind of syringe, 1-layer application. The OptiCoat Pro Plus is a 2-part system. So you got the base and then you get the top as well, the top coat. So it's a 2-part system, and yeah, way many more years of durability. And actually for the OptiCoat Pro Plus, they have a 7-year warranty on that. Again, we're hearing warranty, more on that in the video. We move over to Geon, another top tier brand for coatings. So they have anything from their one coating to their pure coating to their Mose to their Synchro. So you're going to get anywhere from 18 to roughly 48 months of durability, with their consumer grade. So a year and a half to roughly 4 years for the higher end Synchro if you're applying 2 layers of Mose and 1 layer of skin. And then if you look at their professional side, they have the Infinite Base Type 1 or Type 2 coatings, and those come with a 5-year warranty. Once again, we're hearing warranty, right? So there is a difference in the formulas. I spoke with Yves Halen, so he's the brand ambassador over at Geon, with Robert as well, the owner and CEO at Geon. And again, there's a marked difference in the formula. So what you're getting in the bottles, the consumer grade and the pro grade, the type 1, type 2 base, those are very, very different. If we're moving over now to, so we spoke about CarPro, we spoke about Optimum, G-Technic, Geon, now Armor Detail Supply. They're the newest newcomers to the game, but they're doing some very, very good things. And I'm going to talk about why I like what they're doing so much is because of they're very transparent. If you go on their website and you look at their two formulas, right? This one here, the first one, this is their regular Armor Detail Supply quartz coating. And then we have this one here. This, you can see the Pro up top. This is their Armor Detail Supply Pro quartz coating. So are the formulas the same? Absolutely not. It's not just the label that's changing, it's the product inside there. So I had a very, very good discussion with both owners, DJ Mayo and Bradley. So they're two professional detailers. DJ is out in Washington, D.C., and Bradley's out in Florida. I think it's cool because they have two different types of climates. Like DJ says, he has 4 seasons out there in Washington, D.C., and Bradley has essentially 2 seasons. It's either hot or hotter. I found that really funny. So it's cool that they get to exchange their experience when they develop products, because a lot of times one product might work in one scenario or one condition, one environment, and it might not work as well in the other one. So it's cool that they get to exchange that. But when you look at the formulas on their own website, so if we look at, first of all, the Pro version, this one here, they say that it has 87% SiO2 for the solids content, so very, very high solids content. The chemical resistance, pH 0 to 13. The claimed durability on this one is 5+ years, and the film thickness that it builds is 3 to 4 microns. So you're going to see that is different compared if we look at the conditions or the properties. Let me focus in here, having focusing issues today. With the regular quotes coating, so this one here has a solids content of 66% of SiO2, still at high purity, but 66%, so compared to 87% for the professional one. You're getting chemical resistance of pH 2 to pH 13, compared to the Pro one that has 0 to 13. Claimed durability on the regular quartz version is 3+ years, compared to 5+ years on their Pro, and film thickness is 2 to 3 microns compared to a film thickness of 3 to 4 microns on the Pro one. So clearly the formulas again in the bottles are very different. So for all the 5 brands that we spoke about, so Optimum or Opticode is their Pro, we had G-Technic, we had CarPro, we had Geon and Armor Detail Supply. These are all reputable brands. They all have different formulations in the bottles. So to conclude with the question, are Pro coatings the same exact thing as consumer coatings? Absolutely not. They are different. So for, again, reputable brands that offer both in their lineup, we're not talking about our consumer grade better than Pro grade from other brands, which brand is better. That's a discussion for a whole other video. What we're saying is for the brands that do produce both types, so consumer grade and professional grade, is there a difference in the formulas in the bottles? Absolutely there is. I don't think these brands are lying to us, and you're going to notice probably a difference yourself. If you're an installer for one of these brands, you likely also discovered a difference in durability, self-cleaning properties, whatever properties you're looking at, you probably notice a difference as well. And again, let me know. Yeah, I can be wrong, and you can let me know in the description, but note at least that the facts state that when you look into these companies, the products are different. So it would be incorrect to say that all consumer grade coatings are the exact same thing as professional grade coatings. Stick to the facts. When I hear these videos claiming that they have the truth, that they know what that is, and take things with a grain of salt, whether it's on one side saying that pro grade coatings are the best things ever, or on the other side that there's no such thing as pro grade coatings. They're the exact same thing, exact same liquids, just rebranded with different labels and just put more expensive price. You have to be somewhere in between. Get the facts, get your stories straight. Talk to these brands. There are some that are more transparent than others. That's why I applaud Armor Detail Supply, by the way. You can get all this information on their own website. They didn't hide anything. You can see the differences in both types of formulas and make up your own mind if you want to test them. So we established that there is a difference in the chemistry in the bottles, right? So at least for the reputable brands that are out there, the facts are there. Do your research, get your info before you draw conclusions. Even take my own videos with a grain of salt. I like to be very factual, but do your own research. and draw your own conclusions. And a lot of these brands are not shy to reply. I know Armor Detail Supply is very, very supportive of the community. They're very interactive with viewers in the comment section. They're present in different live streams and podcasts on different channels. So I think they're doing some good things, and that's awesome to see. What then are differences when we hear pro coatings? So a lot of the frustration in the industry, and that's my understanding, again, talking with the professional detailers out there, I have a lot of fellow content creators which are pro detailers. Some are certified for certain brands, some are not. They want to be free to deal with whichever brand there are. But for those who are certified, they do notice a difference, obviously, in the performance of the reputable coatings, the pro versions versus the consumer versions. But the frustrations mainly are with the system itself, right? The whole, everything surrounding the pro type coatings and what that means. That's what I'm going to try and dive into. I don't have all the answers. Again, I'm not a certified installer of any coating whatsoever. I like to be free to use whatever I want. But do I agree with the system of being certified to only one brand? No. Again, I'm sharing my opinions, my thoughts. This is just my personal opinion. But why don't I like that? There are many reasons. First of all, for me, when you lock yourself in being certified to just one brand, and there's two sides of this, right? There's the viewpoint of the professional detailer. Again, you pros out there, drop comments. Let me know if there's anything you want to add. I think it's good for other fellow detailers to also know what your points of view are, because we're different people, different places around the world, different countries, different cities. We're working with different brands sometimes, you guys who are certified out there. So yeah, you're locking yourself in with one specific brand. And so if there are any issues that happen in the future, say you get into an argument with the people over at the brand, say there's a management change all of a sudden at the brand, or the brand disappears, somehow they go under, COVID was tough for a few companies financially out there, or just they weren't making good products and they disappeared, whatever the reason is. Imagine you now for years telling your customers that the product that you had was the best one out there. All of a sudden, you're not with the brand anymore because they either disappeared, you had a fallout with them for whatever reason, you want to terminate your contract, or you just don't want to sell their products anymore, or they maybe, again, they disappeared off the face of the earth for whatever reason it is. They closed doors, they closed up shop. Again, I digress. Well, now you're going to switch to another brand, and imagine the trouble you're in trying to explain to all your customers through the years, or the people who have been supporting you. You've been preaching about that one brand. They have the best coating. They're the best. Everybody else is not good. Their coatings are not as good. I'm applying the best thing to you. And now you have to re-justify why this new brand that you're partnering up with, why they have the best one out there. Can you imagine the nightmare you're in potentially with customer service and your customers that had your previous coating? Well, you told me that was the best one. Now you're applying a new coating. What happened? Am I going to get the support for the warranty now that you're not with that other company anymore? What's going to happen? So that could be a potential nightmare. For if I'm looking at the brand's point of view, sometimes we hear things like exclusivity, right? They want you to be exclusive with them. They're going to put out some territories. I hear that often. So one of the most frustrating things for detailers is they're forced into these territories. So if there's a competing detailer next to you, let's say he's a mile down the road, they're a certified installer for that brand, you want to apply that brand's coatings, and you can't because they forced themselves into having territories. So you have to have a certain distance between shop. So now that brand is limiting their potential sales because they're blocking themselves physically by not being able to provide their coatings to more installers because they want to have exclusivity with that installer. So I can see that as a potential down point for the brand if they want to make more profits in the end. You got to be more present. It can be a nightmare for customers as well to find a proper detailer. Maybe you're looking at reviews and there's only, say, one guy around you that is applying brand X's coatings, and you're really interested in that brand's coatings, but now you read reviews on that detailer and he might not be getting good reviews, or somebody told you that they're not doing great quality work. So you're stuck to having to drive further out and try to find that one installer of whatever certified brand you're looking into having applied to your vehicle. So again, that can be very, very complicated. So they're typically, obviously they're more expensive. So there's big differences there, but typically, yes, they might have some better performances. If we're looking at, again, we're comparing apples to apples within the same brand, right? So a pro coating in the same brand versus a consumer grade coating within the same brand. So pro coating, you're paying more, but you're also typically getting either longer durability or a bit higher properties, a bit better performance, a bit better self-cleaning, all that kind of stuff. Although we agree that that gap is shortening between consumer and pro. consumer grade coatings are getting very, very good. There's no doubt about that. So differences are also pro coatings sometimes can be a bit more difficult to apply. Now they are getting very, very simple. A lot of pro grade coatings I'm happy to see, one layer systems, easy application, easy removal, lower curing times, all that kind of stuff. But there's still some coatings out there that might require infrared curing lamps to reach maximum hardness and durability over time. They might need specialized equipment. They might need a bit more careful application, not for the application per se when you're applying it, but for after. If you make a mistake, for example, if you have higher solid contents and you make a mistake, you forget a high spot, for example, it goes on a few days and then you notice it, or a few weeks, for example, the pain to correct that needs a lot more. Well, sometimes you might need heavy correction. There's some out there I hear from you pro detailers out there that might need some water sanding even to get some high spots out of the more stout or more heavily concentrated pro grade versions. Whereas consumer grades, if you have a high spot or an issue, it's potentially a lot easier to fix. Light polish, you're done, you recoat, and you can move on. So it's that degree of, well, brands, if they want to sometimes do the professional or certified only type, is they also want to ensure, and I understand that to a point, that they only have pros that are trained to do that, or at least have the experience to correct issues if issues there are. So is that the right approach? I understand that some coatings, if you want to at least have the warranty valid, you need somebody that understands the coating, that understands detailing, understands all the prep processes before too, right? It's not only applying the coating, it's all the washing, all the chemical decon, the mechanical decon with the clay bar. There's then the polishing steps, the paint correction, remove oxidation, make sure the surface is squeaky clean, free of any previous protection, degrease the surface with your IPA or paint prep spray, or some cleaning tabs. Some products have some cleaner tabs out there to degrease the surface after polishing. Whatever it may be, it's an entire system. The application process of coatings is actually very simple. It's all the entire prep process that takes a lot of time, and you want to make sure you get things done diligently and you apply yourself and you follow the instructions if you want the coating to last over time. So that's the kind of thing I'm sure brands are wanting to ensure by having that certified process, is the person goes through at least a vetting process or some form of training with that specific coating. So not only is the user experience from that pro better because they understand how to apply it, because every coating has different ways to be applied, different instructions, always follow the instructions, but they're ensuring by going through the certification process that the detailer understands the entire process from beginning to end on how to prep and then apply the product to get maximum durability. So there's no blame games when it's time that there's a failure. Well, at that point, if you're claiming the warranty, well, then hopefully the company will back their claims up and support the detailer in the warranty claims. So the consumer grade doesn't give you all that painstaking kind of thing because there's no vetting process. You just follow the instructions and you apply it, and it is what it is. There's no warranty process with that in general. Now, the issue with warranties, if we talk about warranties, is what I'm hearing from you professionals out there is often brands make it too complicated for warranties. And if there's a warranty claim, I hear often brands put the blame game or point the finger at the detailer and say it's user error instead of owning up to the product. Of course, you're going to ask a few questions to the detailer to ensure that he did all the steps right, but they should own up more to their product. So what I'm hearing is that often warranty claims are a nightmare because it all ends up that the detailer himself has to pay out of pocket to redo the job, reapply the product, and that can be very frustrating, right? If I look at a few websites for warranty claims, they come up with stuff like, well, warranty is only valid if periodical services routine is performed by a certified detailer of that specific brand. So you have to have your car maintained by a detailer certified for the brand of coating you have applied on your car, using oftentimes their specific maintenance product as well. Warranties are only valid if maintenance items are used at least once every 2 to 3 months. So you have to be back for regular scheduling, which increases the costs for the consumer paying for that product, right? For the professional service. The warranty can only be valid also if the vehicle hasn't been washed in an automatic or commercial car wash. So that can be a caveat for a lot of people out there who don't want to wash their own cars. They had it professionally coated, but you know what? Life is tough. Life is hard. You don't have as much time. You want to go through a tunnel wash, automatic car wash, and that could potentially void your warranty. So I see a lot of issues happening potentially with warranty. So that gets complicated. That's why it's important for professionals, if you're certified, to have proper communication and conversations with your customers. So if they do get a service from you, from a certified detailer, they understand what they're getting themselves into, they understand the maintenance programs, and they understand what the warranty portion of it is about. And feel free to share experiences. If you had warranty claims that went well, share that with your people. If you had warranty claims that did not do well, have the conversation, be very transparent with your consumer. What are more problems of having pro coatings only? So we said, first of all, the pros, because there are some pros to pro coatings, but there are also some cons. So the main pros are you might be getting higher performance or better durability if we're looking at the same brand once again. So consumer grade versus pro grade within the same company. Typically you're paying a higher price, but you're getting a bit more performance or a bit more durability out of your coating. Some other pros out there, you're probably going to get some more support. So if there are some brands out there that are in for the wrong reason, so they offer pro coatings, but they don't care about the detailer. But there are brands out there that actually offer support. So either a hotline that you can call if you run into an issue when you're installing the coating for your customer, you run into a problem, you call up to get some support. They can offer some marketing solutions for you, help you get some leads or help you with your marketing, either for online, your social media, Facebook accounts, all that kind of stuff, or explain to you or give you some support on how you can grow your business. So that's one thing you can value. And also in the pros, they can offer you a lot more things than that. Basically reach out and help you, again, how to grow your business. Because don't forget, there's a lot of pro detailers out there. They might be very good at what they do, so the job of detailing itself, but it doesn't mean you're the best manager of your business. Those are two completely different things, and not everybody is good at both. So you can be the best detailer in the world. You don't know how to grow your business, gain leads, do marketing, all that kind of thing. And you can be the best business owner in the world. You can treat your employees right. You can know how to grow your business, how to gain all those leads. You might be a marketing guru on social media, but you're actually not that good in doing the detailing itself, right? So there's two types. It's rare that, not rare, but it's more difficult, let's say, to be the best at both. So if you value having that support on the back end from the brand, well then obviously having a certified process can be valuable for you. That's up to you to decide. If you're not the best business owner, for example, but you're a good detailer and you need help with your business, you need help for growth, you need help to draw some leads in, and you need help to figure out how to do your digital marketing and all that kind of stuff, well then that comes at a certain price, and that's where you're getting more for your money. So you're going to pay more for the coatings, you're going to pay to get that pro level certification. However, there are some brands that actually offer some support on the back end. So do your research perhaps if you want to be certified, and find those brands, talk to other professional detailers and listen at their experiences and see if they are getting that actual support, because a lot of brands claim that they offer support on the back end, some might not. If you have some great experiences, by the way, to share, drop them in the comment. This is where it's time for you. If you guys want to make the company you are representing shine, or if you're out there, you're a certified detailer and you have positive experiences, let us know. Drop a comment in the comment section. If you had bad experiences with some brands as well, let us know. It's important for the community to know who not to partner up with. There's always going to be this oddball, like nobody's perfect, right? You can have one or two people that are very disappointed with a specific brand. I think it's when the masses or the majority of a tendency goes one way. So if 97% of professional installers had a bad experience with brand A and 97% of detailers had a very good experience with brand B, well, brand B might be a better choice. So do your research out there, see which ones actually support you. So those are the few pros. So you get a better bit performance with pro grade coatings within the same brand if you're looking at consumer versus pro, because there are, again, consumer grade coatings from other brands that outperform pro grade coatings from other brands as well. So now we're talking differences between brands. That's not what we're here to do. Looking at the same brand, right? If you're looking at CarPro, for example, you're looking at their consumer grade and you're looking at their pro grade. So yes, there are differences in the formulas, differences in performance and durability. But ultimately, the main difference, I think, would be for the support that you might be getting. So look into that. Do your research. Talk to others who have partnered up with those brands who are certified and see what kind of experience they get. And if that's something you value, then you might want to look into certification. However, there's also a lot of cons that we said. So they're more expensive, obviously. For the coating companies, they're limiting their income potential by locking or forcing some territories, right? So by having nobody else have access to that brand being exclusive kind of thing in your area, where you're limiting your potential income because you don't have as many potential installers applying your coatings. You can't offer the consumer what's best. That's probably the biggest thing for me, is if you're locked into a certified brand, not every consumer that comes into the door, it doesn't mean that that coating that you're applying is meant for everybody. People have different budgets. People live in different conditions. People drive differently, so they might not drive the same mileage. Sometimes we're looking at people in different climates, right? If you're looking differences between region to region, so not every coating will be the best in every certain region or every climate, every conditions around the world. And so there are many, many differences. So if you lock yourself into only one coating, it might not be the most appropriate for the customer. So always, if you truly value your customers, for me, I'd prefer to stay open to many different brands. That way, if a customer comes in, has a more limited budget, well, obviously you're not going to recommend the coating that costs $2,000 to $3,000 for a total service. There might be something at $800 to $1,000 maybe that can suit him. If he's only looking for something like me, for example, I only keep my cars every 3 years, I get a new car. So for me, having coating that's going to last 5 to 10 years is not as important as what I prefer, which are gloss, slickness, self-cleaning properties, those kinds of things. That's what I'm looking at. I want my vehicle to look great because I use proper washing and drying methods. I have more experience than the average Joe on the street to take care of the car. So what I want is a lot of pop. So I want something that looks great, that feels great, that is amazing to wash. That's what I'm looking for. And durability, if it gives me those 3 years, I'm more than happy. I don't care if it lasts 10 years. For someone else, they might not care as much about gloss or slickness. What they want is something, they keep their cars for 10 years. They want something with the maximum durability. So they might want to look into a coating that they'll apply maybe once during those 10 years, right? Reapply once, I mean. So it's going to last 5 years and then do one reapplication and that is it. They don't have to worry, or something that might last more than that, so on and so forth. So you might want to cater according to what their needs and their budgets are. That's why it's important to have conversations. So that can be a very big con if you lock yourself in to a one specific coating, especially if the brand only has one pro coating. It might not be suitable for everyone. So it's more difficult. If you care about your customers, you should be offering things that cater more, again, to their budget and their specific needs and situations. I like pros who tell me, I sit down with my customer and I ask them, what are you looking for? For some people, they just might want to wax. Every 3 months, they want to get their car done. They want something simple. Some might want just a paint sealant. They're like, you know what? Twice a year, in the spring and before winter, just apply a paint sealant. I'm happy with that. It's less expensive. Not as much prep is needed. It's fine. And others want the ultimate protection. They want years of protection without having to worry about it. And they might want a coating. So again, I like when I hear pros say that they have discussions about the budget of their customer, their expectations as well. You always want to meet or exceed your customer's expectations. That's how you give a good customer service. And then having only one coating might not be the best thing, right? Because there's different coatings for different types of people and different types of needs. Prosumers out there, they might want to access a pro type coating, but if you have to go through a certification process, well, then you're never going to have access to that. And it's unfortunate because if we look at guys like you guys, if you watch my videos, there's not only pros who watch the videos, but there's a lot of you guys out there, you're prosumers, meaning you know a lot about detailing. You've likely applied a coating in the past, even if it's just a consumer grade. So you have more experience. You understand the steps. You know that you have to read the instructions. You know you have to be diligent. You know you have to control your environment if you're doing it. So we have more knowledge than that 99% of the population that probably doesn't even know what a ceramic coating is. So in that sense, it would be nice for prosumers to have access to those pro coatings. So I wish brands would listen, and it's by you guys dropping comments and giving feedback that they have to be open to that. And we're going to talk about what Armor Detail Supply is doing, because I think this is a more modern take on that pro type coating, and that's one I really like as far as the access to their pro level coatings. So I think that's one thing a lot of brands should look into. It should not only be accessible to certified installers. So if it's a prosumer, there needs to be for sure some vetting process, right? Either an email, a discussion, some form of communication with the customer to make sure they know what they're doing and it's not somebody off the streets who has never applied a coating before. They want to access your pro grade coating, they do a mess with it, and then it becomes a nightmare for both the person and the brand. That's not what we want. So it can be a light vetting process, or potentially even, I heard a good suggestion from my friend Ivan LaCroix. So he has been both in the consumer world and has been a consultant for many pro brands, has worked for pro brands, has his own pro brand as well, has his own consumer brand. So he has his pro brand with C6 coatings, has his consumer, more prosumer brand, should I say, or accessible to everyone with DIY detail. So he's been in a bit of both. And what he suggested, there could potentially be something, a waiver, so that you would sign that if anything goes wrong on your side as a prosumer, if you want to have access to a pro coating, well, with that document signed, at least the brand is not responsible for the warranties, because we can't expect to have the same level of service as the certified professional if you're not a professional and you still want to try it. If things go south and it's harder to remove, or you come in a mess with something of a high spot that you weren't expecting, and then you have to go through heavy polishing, potentially water sanding, whatever it may be, well, then the brand cannot be responsible of the user error at that point. So what do you guys think? Could signing a waiver be a good way to access that, or at least having a discussion through a vetting process? I think, though, it's important that I would love to have access to all the pro coatings. I've seen some pro level coatings offer that to my viewers because they understood that. So if I look at the, companies like Duraslick that offered their pro coatings to my viewers, if I look at Roar Coatings, that's the one I have on my Porsche, they offered their pro level coating to my viewers as well. So for prosumers who wanted to have access, as long as you understand what you're getting into, you have access to at least purchase it. I'm a firm believer, if we're passionate about something, we should have access to purchase whatever we want, but we deal with the consequences. If I'm applying something on my vehicle, I'm responsible for it. And if I wanted to have access to that pro coating and something goes wrong, well, obviously I can't blame the brand. Now, I'm not a representative or I'm not a certified installer for them, so I'll correct that issue. So I think as long as we understand that, and brands can figure out that, yeah, prosumers are willing to go the extra mile and will take things seriously and will take it upon their own hands to apply the product and deal with whatever issues there are, if issues there are. And there are more and more, there are less and less, issues, as the gap is not as wide now between pro and consumer as far as ease of application. Both are becoming more and more easy to apply. So there's less of an argument now to have that pro certified only kind of thing, right? So that's why I don't agree with the certified professional side personally. I want everybody, at least if you're a prosumer, to have access to all the products and you decide if you want to use them or not. We spoke about if you limit yourself to an exclusive brand, the problem with that, again, if the brand disappears or you switch, try to explain to your customer now that what you were raving about before is not, well, the brand you're representing now, because you had to switch brands, and now all of a sudden this new brand is the best on the block and the previous brand wasn't good anymore. That can be very confusing and frustrating for your previous customers, so that's a big thing. Exclusivity can lead limitations to pros obviously working in territories, so that can create some unneeded tension between shops. That can force you to move to another area just to be a certified detailer. It can be very complicated going into that pro type world. And sometimes, yeah, again, some prosumer, pro type coatings, can be a bit more complicated to apply. Not per se, again, the application, but the afterwards dealing with potential issues. If you're a professional and you've been in the business for a longer time, you have just more tools in your arsenal or experience dealing with technical issues that you can correct. So it's how you can correct those issues that can make a big difference. So those are the pros, those are the cons. Personally, this is my opinion. I don't believe in certified. I wouldn't lock myself in, and I haven't locked myself in with a single brand. I don't believe in that business model. Ultimately, don't forget, at the end of the day, the brands, they want to make money. Their bottom line, that's why they're a business. This is capitalism. They have to be profitable. And one way to make that is to lock you in to these warranty things, to these territory things, exclusivity, having you purchase only their coatings, have no other coatings in your shop, having you purchase all their maintenance products. So they're guaranteeing an influx of money their side. But what are they providing in exchange to you guys? That is what you have to kind of determine. If they do provide support, if there are phone numbers that you can call to have support when something goes wrong and somebody actually answers and helps you, that's awesome. If they actually provide marketing services or help you grow your business, have conference calls with you guys and give you tips and tricks, that is time that they have to invest to do that. Time costs money. So obviously that's one reason why you're going to pay more for the certified process and the pro grade coatings. But if you value that, that makes sense. But I do understand that the brands obviously have to charge more because that's time you're spending helping the professional detailer grow his business. This doesn't come for free. So anytime you spend on the phone or on conference calls, that has to be factored in the price. So that's why you're also paying more as a certified detailer. So that's up to you to decide how much you value that and if you actually need that. But I personally prefer being open to any types of brands, any types of products for maintenance as well. If a coating is good, usually you can use whatever maintenance products you want, right? I think some brands perhaps have confidence issue issues in their own products, and that's why they only want you to use their own maintenance products to make sure everything's fine, just in case you go outside, thinking outside the box and using other stuff and things might not work well. Maybe it's an issue with their own product. If you're scared as a brand that people use other maintenance products from other brands to maintain your coating, maybe you have to relook at your formula. Maybe there's some tweaks you can bring, or altogether you're going to have to find new chemists, new chemistry. I don't know what it is, but confidence is key. If you have a stout product that you're putting out and you're proud of it, it shouldn't matter which products people use to maintain your coatings. As long as they're doing proper maintenance and they're following the steps, it shouldn't matter, right? Same thing applies to cars. If I look at something like engines, do you have to use Honda engine at the dealership to maintain your Honda engine oil, from Honda to maintain your Honda engine in your vehicle? Or can you get some high quality oils from another brand that you love? Well, yeah, they're probably even better brands than the manufacturer's oil that can do as good or better of a job for maintenance. So yeah, using certified stuff, no, unless again, you're valuing the plus side or things they're adding value to your business as a professional detailer. Keep that in mind. So there's pros and cons. Again, hopefully you guys can see it's kind of a gray zone. There's no black or white answer. That's why I don't like the videos that say it's complete garbage or it's absolutely amazing and it's only rainbows and butterflies and diamonds and all that kind of stuff. No, there are nuances to everything. So hopefully I helped clear something out. But one company that I think is doing well, and I said I wanted to talk about Armor Detail Supply. By the way, quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody paid for this video. I think it's quite clear as I spoke of a bunch of products, but still make it clear out there. These are my views, my opinions. So what Armor Detail Supply is doing is, so yes, they do have the regular quartz coating and they have their pro quartz coating. So they offer both to anybody, including professionals, prosumers, DIYers, whatever you might say. The only difference for their pro, and I spoke about this, again, focus issues, sorry about that, guys. So I spoke about this with DJ from Armor Detail Supply. So the only thing about this is you have to fill in a very quick and short form. So to have access to this, so you can buy it without having a discussion with them. So DJ or Bradley, so one of the owners, is going to directly reach out to you, whether it be by email or have a phone call and have a lengthy conversation to see if you're a right fit for this. They want to make sure that you're going to get the best user experience. So they want to make sure you get all the information, how to prep, how to apply, the differences between this and this one. And in the vetting process, one of the things that you have to do is to also get for your first order the regular one, the regular quartz consumer coating, and then you can get the pro coating. So you can see the differences as well, because the pro one has a lot higher concentration in solids and it's not quite the same when you're applying this. You'll notice, because you have to change applicators more often with this one. It gets crunchier quicker compared to the consumer one, so it's less forgiving, right? So they want to make sure through that vetting process that you understand what you're getting into, see if you're a right fit, and also see obviously if you know what you're doing. So if you're just fresh off the streets, you never applied a wax in your life, let alone a ceramic coating, well, they're not going to recommend that you get the pro and you won't have access to it. So by vetting you, at least you have a conversation straight from the horse's mouth. You understand the differences between both. You know how to prep and apply them. And then they'll unlock through your account the possibility for you to get the pro coating. So I think that is the more modern way to do it, and it shows they're a brand new company, but they're two professional detailers that have been in the business for a very long time, and they took 3 to 4 years of development before releasing their products because they wanted to make sure they actually have quality stuff that they're putting out there. So they're confident so much about their products. They don't care what maintenance products you use. They don't lock you into a certified process. They don't force you to have exclusivity or to have a territory and all that kind of stuff. And I think that is the way to go. And if you're a prosumer, the good thing, you can go through that same vetting process. So you're going to fill in that form. They're going to reach out, talk to you just like they would with a pro detailer. And then if everything works out and you're legit and you understand the process and you're a right fit for it, well, then they're going to unlock the possibility for you to get the pro version coating. So I love that. And hopefully many brands out there listen to that and give us accessibility. What I want for my viewers is obviously for the pro detailers to get more information. Should you go for a certified type thing or not? But for prosumers out there, so the consumers that love detailing and who understand it, we want to have access to the good stuff. We want to have access to the pro grade coatings in brands that do produce both consumer and pro. And if there are differences in the performance, we want to have the best of the best. Why not? I'm one who always is on the lookout for the greatest and latest technologies. And we're lucky now in this day and age. Things have evolved enough and got to a point where there's a lot of the pro stuff that is easier and easier to apply, and the gap is getting shorter because that pro stuff is easier to apply and the consumer stuff is a lot more durable and has higher performance. So that gap is really shortening. So brands, I think, have to rethink their whole certified installer type process and give some accessibility to prosumers. I mean, at the end of the day, that's also good for the brand. You guys will be selling more products because you're going to be sending a lot of more out there, right? You're going to have a lot more people using your stuff. The only thing, I agree, there needs to be some kind of light vetting process, or at least maybe a waiver, a form that person's going to sign if they want to have access to your pro grade coatings, that the brand is not responsible for any issues if you have a user error when applying it. What do you guys think? Is that a good way to approach? So if you are to have access to the pro grade coatings, would you want that, first of all? And second of all, what do you think? A waiver? Should they go and have the vetting process like Armor Detail Supply is doing, have a conversation with the person and then agree to have them access your pro grade coatings? Or is there something else that you would recommend that some brands do? Drop a comment in the comment section under the video. At the end of the day, if you're a consumer, do your research, guys. Find reputable brands, find brands that work for you, test a few products. That's what I did. Even before I started my channel, I was testing products for years and years and years. Ever since I was 16 years old, I was always trying to find, even when I started just going to the local auto parts store and we're picking up different products from shelves, reading the labels, coming back home. And then when I'd find something that would really work for me, I'd get all excited. And I still am super excited today. I just super passionate about detailing. I hope you guys can see that. I hope it translates through the camera. I think it does. So if you're a consumer, do your research, find the reputable brands out there. If you're a professional, please keep your customer in mind. Focus, orient your business towards the customer. Don't lock yourself in with only one coating brand. Make sure you have a discussion with your customer, see what works best for them, for their budget. Be proud of the work you put out there, but keep your customer in mind. Forget about the brand. It's consumer first, customer first. If you want to have a successful business, if you treat your customers right, you use good products, and you back your work out with your own sense of warranty, in the sense of if they have issues, they can come and see you and you'll make it right for them, you're going to go a long way and you're going to be in the business for a long time. Because consumers can weed out the people who give bad service, and I think it'll catch up to you if you offer either poor products or a bad service. So always keep your customer in mind, always keep them as the main focus and target. Have the conversation. What do they want? What do they need? What is their budget? What are their expectations? Set expectations as well. Explain things to them. And then at the end of the day, everybody's going to be happy. You do some good work. You get well paid for it, because you have to be compensated for your work. I think through all these detailing videos, what's good for consumers is they see all the hard work that goes into it. So if they can't do the work themselves and they give their vehicle to a professional detailer, I think they understand more through these videos all the work, the prep, the time, and the expenses that go to having a shop, paying your employees, having your equipment, your products, your supplies, paying utility bills, insurance, and all that kind of stuff. There's a cost to that. So there's a reason why you trust your vehicle to a pro, but why you're paying them more than doing it yourself. Obviously, you have to value that. So hopefully all these videos help to level up the detailing industry and bring everyone in one happy camp, helping each other out. You can support the brands that speak to you the most if you're a pro, right? So as a professional, you often have your own core values, whether it be respect, professionalism, transparency, whatever it may be, hard work. So if you find a brand that resonates with you and shares the same type of core values, well, you might want to give them your business if you want to be absolutely a certified detailer. So look for brands that share your philosophy, that share your core values, and support the brands that you think do well. Even if you're not certified, buy products from brands that you think are doing the right thing. Are they a positive influence in the industry, or are they always negative, bashing on others, trying to belittle, trying to create controversy and drama? And do you really want to be associated with that? So find people that match your level of professionalism, that match your core values, and buy their products and support them. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We need to enjoy detailing. Hopefully this is probably gone. Let me see, how long is this gone? Yeah, it's a long one, almost an hour at this point. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Hopefully I brought some important points, or some interesting ones, should I say. If you want to add stuff, again, drop a comment in the comment section. If you want me to do deeper dives, what I could do, what would be cool, is maybe jump on podcasts or a phone call or video conference call, whatever it may be, with some of the owners of these more pro brands that offer these certified processes, so you guys understand what's behind it. Is it worth it? Is that something you would want? Or maybe jump on calls with professional detailers out there who are certified for certain brands that you're curious about, and have them talk about their experience. Could that be cool? So have somebody talk about their experience with CarPro, have somebody talk about their experience with G-Technic, with Geon, with Armor Detail Supply, with OptiCoat, with Aurora Coatings, with whatever brand is out there that offers consumer and pro. If you guys are curious to hear from the pro detailers, maybe that could be potential future videos. Whatever ideas you guys have, share them. And when I see the same idea or question come time and time again, I know it's time to make a new video. So guys, I want to thank you for your support. Thanks for sticking with me if you've been all the way towards the end, to the end of this video. And just out of curiosity, if you listened all the way till the end, let's drop a hashtag coding. Yeah, just that. So if you made it all the way till the end, that will let me know if you listened to the entire video. So drop a comment, hashtag coding. Of course, if you have comments, drop them too. And yeah, in the meantime, guys, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.